Hi, this is Taxis Chronicles, and I'm here with another customer, and we're going to have a discussion about just what happened on my previous taxi ride. She doesn't know yet what we're going to be discussing, but it should be an interesting one because it was really interesting for the other customer. Of course, I'm your host, Simon Rushton, and feel free to like and subscribe and share. So, what the situation is,
Yes.
I just picked up a customer and she said her day wasn't going too well because the flatmate's boyfriend won't stop walking around the house naked. And she's been doing that through the entire quarantine time.
Oh dear.
Now, how would you deal with that?
First of all, he doesn't live there, right?
No, he doesn't live there.
So can you respect the fact that I live in this house? I pay rent in this house. Can you at least respect my wishes? And not walk around naked. I mean, I understand it's her flatmate's boyfriend, right?
Yep.
I would just pull my flatmate aside and say, listen, please, I understand you pay rent as well, but I pay half the rent. If you could please, I want to be comfortable walking around in my house. If you could please talk to your boyfriend,
Yeah.
that would be much appreciated.
Now, what if the flatmate got upset with you and accused you of being unreasonable?
Then I'll get upset that she thinks I'm being unreasonable.
But how would you handle it?
I don't know. That's a bit of a sticky situation.
And then the boyfriend comes in and starts saying, what's the problem? We've all seen naked people before.
Right. That's a very difficult situation, but I think it's not right that he's freely walking around naked knowing that someone is uncomfortable, someone that lives there is uncomfortable.
Okay. Now, this went on through the quarantine time.
Right.
So probably 2 months of it or something
dear.
like that. And the woman's quite friendly. Now, they say if you want to be able to solve a problem, you need to understand why the problem's there in the first place, where they're coming from.
Right.
So what do you think? I have my theories, but what do you think may be the reason why he thinks it's okay to walk around naked? Because it got to the point where one point she saw a glimpse of him when her door was open, the bathroom door was open, because she went to get something from the bathroom about 4 in the morning. Because she says she's a writer and she's all up at all hours.
Right.
And another point, she went to go to the kitchen and he was in there naked, and he brushed past her facing forward, looked deep in her eyes, butt naked, things swinging. Yeah. Walked into the room.
But I'm sorry, but
what do you think?
Do people walk around the house naked? Because I definitely don't.
Yeah, well, yes, people do. People used to, a lot of people. Well, I say a lot of people. People used to be comfortable with that. When I went to live abroad, and before I lived abroad, I used to be. If I felt like being naked, I'll be naked at home.
Okay.
But that's just me, or me and the missus. It's like you hear parents talk about it all the time.
Okay,
they
but
say, when the kids leave home, I can be naked.
Okay.
They can walk around naked. Go on.
But when you're living with other people, I just don't understand how.
Yeah. All right. I have a theory, and my theory is he's trying to break her in. He's trying to see if she wants peace.
Really?
Think about it. Why else would you do it? Now, she did say he had a bit of OCD when he'd be in the bathroom for 4 hours.
Okay.
But that just means he'd like to be clean. Maybe. I don't know. Unless I don't know what's going on in there. And I don't know too much about those special needs people kind of thing. But my thing is, he's probably trying to break her in, and he's probably asked his girlfriend, does she have a man? Do you understand?
Okay.
And she said no. And now he thinks he can be the big swinging dick of the house, walk around, and maybe he can get a threesome. Now, to me, it's either the girlfriend is embarrassed, and that's why she's attacking her her roommate about it, verbally, of course.
Okay.
Or she's frustrated because she did want a threesome, and she knows she's not going to get it.
She's not going to get one.
Does that seem feasible?
Do you know what? I feel like that's the most. You're probably right.
The most logical.
It's the most logical reason, because why else is he going to be there swinging his ting?
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? Around the house.
Now she said he puts on boxer shorts, but I said to her, listen, you know what? I believe if you're in a house with females, you put on a t-shirt and like shorts.
Yeah.
Not even boxer shorts. Boxer shorts may be 3 a.m, you're quickly going in the bathroom, that kind of thing, and it's kind of understandable within reason.
Yeah.
But generally, if you're walking around the house, it's boxer shorts or shorts, pajamas, t-shirt, something where you're totally covered.
Yeah.
To make people feel comfortable, if you see what I mean.
Yeah, no, I see where you're coming from.
Okay. Have you ever had a situation like that before?
Never.
You've never had a flasher on a tube?
No.
There's
Thank God.
There's people out there who have them. They've had flashes.
Oh dear.
Yeah.
That's quite traumatizing. Imagine that.
Yeah, tell me about it. Mm-hmm. So have you been surviving during this corona time?
I've been doing well. I've just moved house, so that was a bit of a sticky one to do whilst in quarantine. But I'm an artist, so I write music and I sing. So I've just been creating at home. Right now, I've just come from a studio session right now, actually.
Okay.
Yeah. So I've just been trying to be as productive as I can at home.
So how come you was moving during the quarantine time?
So I lived in a council flat. We're now getting permanent housing, which we've been waiting for a while.
Well, like a year or something?
So now finally we've got our permanent house.
Okay, that's good.
Yeah.
Oh, okay, that's great. I'm happy for you.
Thank you very much.
Does it take a long time?
We had like 2 weeks to move in, but we've been preparing for a while, so.
No, I mean from when you're.
Oh yeah, 100%. We were put in temporary housing since I was like 5 years old.
Really?
Yeah, and I'm now 20.
Oh,
I'm now 20 years old.
Okay, well.
Better late than never.
Yeah, best things come to those who wait. That's that kind of thing, man.
It's that kind of thing. Patience.
Well, I'm happy for you.
Thank you very much. How about you? How have you been?
I've been okay. I've just been driving around every day. I've only had 2 days off, separate days, during this whole period.
Right.
So it's been work. One point it's just taking the nurses and doctors to
of course.
to the place and things like that. Yesterday or the day before, I met a guy.
Right.
And I did a podcast with him, episode with him. And he's a real character. He had a big old beard, like a Viking, a white guy. Yeah? He wasn't that tall, but then he had like a Mohican.
Okay.
And the Mohican was like just from there to there, like the front part of the birth mole.
Okay.
And it was just curled. It was curled, like he had curlers in there, but he had took the curler out. And it was lines of colours, so it was yellow, green, purple, and something else. But he was talking to me, and he was telling me how he got caught up in the pandemic when he's in Paris, and then he just thought, blasé, it's not a problem. And then they shut down, so he thought, well, I'll go back to London. So he took the Eurotube to London. Then after that, when he got to London, everything was normal, and then suddenly 3 days later, everything shut down. So he got kicked out of the hotel he was in. So he couldn't find accommodation. So finally, some people found accommodation for him in Bayswater Hotel.
Okay.
He said he was paying £100 a night. He said it's perfectly okay until 85 homeless people were put in there. And he said, that's when you see real craziness, man. You see this. There was this. He said this microwaves were being thrown out the window.
What?
This madman must have stabbed somebody else.
What?
Yeah, you stabbed someone and that before, so the police had to come and try and take him
gosh.
away. Then the landlord was saying, the hotel, or the person who organised the homeless people to go there, was saying, Yeah, he was in the paper because he had done such and such before.
No way.
He's got some kind of mental issues.
Okay.
And he's saying, well, didn't you? Yeah, some mental and racist issues or something like that.
Oh.
So he's saying, well, don't you think you should have told me, being a gay man? He may have had a problem with me. But he said he was going to cut all his hair off, but he thought he'd leave that little bit on. just to try and blend in with them, and it worked. They was really friendly. You should listen to it. I posted it about 2 days ago.
Okay, I'll definitely.
Yeah, it was funny. But the big thing is for you, he's in the music industry.
Oh, really?
Music industry. When I mean music industry and entertainment, Madonna, Jay-Z,
wow.
Beyonce. He says his name. He says his company. But he didn't say his surname, and I didn't take his email.
Okay.
So
I'll have a listen.
Yeah, you might be able to find him and check him out. But he'd been in the business. I said to him, "What's your first job you ever had?" And he went, he basically it's something in music. I don't understand the term, but he's been doing that since he's 14.
Oh wow.
So he's probably in his 50s now.
Okay.
But he's been doing that whole music all his life. He worked with some heavyweights. Even Joe Collins has come to his house. He talks about Joan Collins.
Oh wow.
Do you remember Joan Collins?
Yeah.
Yeah, and all that stuff. So it's just like, ooh, it's deep. But yeah, you meet all kind of people.
Interesting. I can imagine you meet tons of types of people doing this job. My dad is a cab driver as well.
Oh, is it? Where, Uber?
He does Uber.
Okay. Yeah. But he doesn't do any podcasts and
No, he doesn't do podcasts.
But it's
This is a good idea.
Yeah, it's based on personality. Yeah, you got to try and convince people to talk. The other lady didn't want to talk because she's a writer. So she wanted to write this whole kind of essay of this story as if it's some movie. I'm saying, no, you're passionate right now. So you're speaking about it. That's what we want to capture it. But she's basically just selfish, to be honest. she's like, those secretive, those writers that want it all.
Yeah.
So I said, no, you're missing the point. I said, I'll do the episode myself to talk about it. And she goes, no, don't, let me write it first, and then I come and do an interview. I said, no, everything would have passed by then, love. This isn't Hollywood. This is cheap and cheerful Uber, man. And stuff.
So do you get a good idea of who wants to talk? Or just sometimes you get it completely wrong?
No, well, it is. Most people, you listen to people first. It is about judge of character. So people, depending where they sit in the taxis, usually if they're willing to talk, and whether they put their headphones on straight away or look down. Some people get in and they started there's the first episode I did. This woman, French lady, and she was just upset. I thought she was going to start throwing up at first because the way she was, but she was just she's upset about her boyfriend, and then she just wanted to offload. People who sit in the front always want to talk. They always want to talk, unless they're sitting in the front because there's no spaces in the back. But they and it's like the barber chair or the salon chair where people where people just want to offload, and they know they're never going to see you again, so they can virtually tell you everything and anything, and then they can ask your opinion as well. And stuff. What area is this?
What area? Hornsey.
Okay, alright. Okay. Well, thank you
very much
for that.
Very nice to meet you and to be included.
Okay, that's
in all of your
good.
episodes.
So I hope you like that, listeners. Please like and subscribe. Feel free to check out my other podcast, which is Africa Investing Stories, all about investing in Africa and the future of the economy of the world, but it's got funny element to it as well. Okay then, all right.